Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, alhamdulillah, salatu wassalam ala rasulillah. So I thought I'd do a short video on this because it's something which a lot of beginner students especially struggle with, and it involves the letters Jim, Ha and Kha. Now by this time you should be familiar with how the Jim, Ha and the Kha look when they come at the beginning of words. So this kind of shape with a dot on the bottom, the Ha has no dots and the Kha has a dot on top. So that's not an issue. Now when it becomes an issue for students is when it's in the middle of a word and it has one letter joined before it. It has this kind of hook kind of shape. Okay. Now this hook shape always comes before the Jim, Ha or Kha. So I've just done the shape over here. Okay. So this hook is where you look at first. Okay, this hook shape, and then you have to see where the dot appears. Okay. If the dot's on the bottom, it has one dot on the bottom, then it's going to be a ba. Okay. If it has two dots on top, it's going to be a da. If it has three dots on top, it's going to be a tha. Okay, if it has only one dot on top, it's going to be a noon. Okay, if it has two dots on the bottom, it's a ya. Okay, so those are the only ones really that I think will be the major issues when it comes to looking at these two shapes coming together. Okay. Now obviously for the Jim, Ha and the Kha, you should already know where the dot comes on the bottom of this shape. It's going to be a Jim. If it doesn't have any dots, a Ha, it comes on top, it's going to be a Kha. Now obviously because it's on top of one another, the dots may be sort of moved on the side a little bit. So generally we're used to seeing the dot on top of the actual shape itself. But because it's stuck on top of each other, you may see the dot coming more towards the side. So that's what throws the students off. Okay, so let's look at some examples here on the left hand side. Do excuse my writing, I'm doing this on the laptop, so it's not very professionally made, but inshallah you'll get the point inshallah. So if you look at this, I've written three letters here, and as I mentioned, when you see this shape and the Jim, Ha or Kha kind of looking thing, you focus on the hook first. Okay, so this part is where you're focusing first. Okay, and that has a dot on the bottom. Now, which letter do we know that has a dot on the bottom? It's the letter Ba, so that's what you're going to read first. Okay, then you look at the second shape. Okay, the Jim, Ha or the Kha. Remember, the Jim, Ha, Kha will always come second when you have this kind of thing added on top of it. So we established that it's a Ba, and then this shape, the dot on top, is a Kha. Okay, then you have this second example here. The hook shape is where you look first. Okay, so two dots on top. Which letter has two dots on top? It's the letter Da. Okay, and then you have this shape with a dot on the bottom. It must be a Jim. Okay, this one over here, same hook shape, two dots on the bottom. It could only be a letter Ya. And then you have this shape with a dot on top, makes it a Kha. So you have Ya and Kha. So here you had Ba, Kha. Okay, then you had Da, Jim. Here you have the Ya first and then the Kha. Over here, you've got three dots on top. Okay, so that's it. Tha, focusing on just on the hook, and then the Jim over here with one dot on the bottom. Over here, you focus on the hook first, which has one dot on the top. Okay, that's a Noon. Okay, it can't be a letter Dal or a Za, for example, because by this time you should already know that a Dal and a Za, for example, doesn't join onto letters next to it, following it physically. Okay, there will always be a space in between, so it's definitely not a Dal or a Za. Okay, so it must be a Noon. Okay, so those are the main ones. Sometimes you also see a line on top as well. Okay, which will be a letter Lam. Okay, because the Lam can physically join to the letter next to it. It can't be an Alif because Alif doesn't join to letters after. It can join from before. Let me give you a couple of examples of that. If I say the word Khaliq, okay, Khaliq. So Khaliq is one word, but the Alif cannot physically join to the letter Lam over here because it just simply doesn't do that. Okay, there are a few letters like the Dal. Okay, let me just write them. Dal, Dal, there's a Ra, there's a Waw as well. Okay, and there's the Alif also. So these letters, I don't think I'm missing any out. Okay, so these letters don't join physically to any letters after, even though they may be part of the same word. But it doesn't have any issue joining from beforehand. As we can see here, the Alif is joined from beforehand with the letter Kha. Okay, so that's that. and then the lam physically does join two letters after it. So that's how you know it's a lam. Okay, so that's why it's a lam jim here, not alif jim. Okay, so going back to the main topic of discussion here, in terms of this particular shape that you see that throws students off. First, you focus on the hook and see where the dots are, and the dots will obviously tell you which letter it is, because it all looks the same. Look at it, they're all hooks here, just a matter of where the dots are. Okay, and then you look at the next part, and then you see where the dot is, whether it's going to be a jim or a kha. I hope that explains and clarifies, these words for you guys, inshallah. And yeah, if you have any questions, if you're still in any doubt, do let me know, inshallah, and I'll try to improve my explanation, and I've made a nicer video for you guys, inshallah. Okay, jazakallah.